Hi, I'm Michelle Johnson with Quiltinator.com. I'd like to show you the gloves that I've used for quilting before, and these are just garden gloves. They have the little rubber dots. They're huge, but I got them at the dollar store for $1, so I thought I couldn't beat that. One year for Christmas, my daughters got me the Fawns and Porter gloves, and they have little rubberized dots on them as well, and these are good. And then these are the machine girls gloves, which I'm going to use today. I do things a little differently than the traditional when it comes to quilting, because I don't like to use pins, because they hurt your fingers and it takes a lot of time, and I really prefer to use fusible fleece. This is the Pelon fusible fleece, and you just it's got two sides. This is the smooth side, and this is the bumpity dot side. You'll be able to feel on the one side. Hopefully you can see that. Maybe you can't. And what I do is I just iron it to one side of the fabric. And I'm going to do a quilt sandwich for another project that I'm doing. But I put the fusible fleece on what is going to be on the bottom, because if you're using the Octi Hoops, as long as the bottom is smooth and unwrinkled and whatever's in the top is unwrinkled, then you're not going to have any problems with any wrinkles at all. There'll be no bubbles or anything. So I have, and the top one will just fit right inside this other one. And then they have these little notches that fit in, and they will slide right under. And you can go ahead and zoom in a little closer.
Oh, 1 sec, I'm adjusting. Yeah.
Okay, and the first thing I'm doing is I'm pulling up my bobbin thread, and from the bottom, I don't know if you can see that or not, and I am using the Isacord black, and it's embroidery, and I'm using it in the bottom and here on the top. And what I'd like to show you about the Octi Hoops is that you can quilt with your hands on the hoops. You just do whatever. But another thing that's really great about the Octi Hoops is you can just put these little nubs on, and you can use it like a pencil. And it makes it easy, so that way when you sit up straight, if you're just going to go just straight little line. The one thing about the hoops that I don't really like is the back of the hoop, or the back of my foot back here. You'll see that it doesn't give you as much room. And there it stops. But since you need to really move your hands around or stop every few minutes in free motion anyway, it's really good that they have this, so that way you can just adjust. But just say, I've got these other threads in the way, but just say you wanted to do something simple and easy, just some loops. Or if you want to add, like some stars, as long as you can do it on this, you can do it. I mean, do it just by writing, you can do it with these Octi Hoops. And so, it gets to the edge onto the throat, and then so you have to just readjust again. And so, then you get back to it. And there's a loop, star, and it doesn't matter. I mean, like one of the things I do is just play around on this. And this actually is going to be another project that I'll show y'all at another time. But as long as you give yourself a little room and you can still sit up straight so you're not straining your back, you're not straining your shoulders. I really like the Octi Hoops. Now, if you don't have to use the machine girders, you don't have to use any gloves at all, but those of you who have fibromyalgia will understand that sometimes your fingers just don't grip the way they used to. So that was what I find great about these. And you can always turn these around. And there's another size of the Octi Hoops, which is a smaller one that would fit inside of this one. I'm kind of in the middle of quilting this now. I've got about half of this done. It's a half of a yard of fabric. I don't like to work with much more than that, but I thought I'd show you kind of what I'm doing just for a minute so you can see that what I do is I put my, usually put these in my thumb because I realize that I hold the hoop a little bit, and you can move these around to wherever you need them. But I just kind of hold the hoops and I put my thumbs here. And there I'm kind of back off to quilting again. And I accidentally have this in my lap. And just going around doing some stars and loop-de-loops. And you know, my stitches aren't the same. My loops aren't the same. My stars are definitely not the same. And you know what? Nobody's taking a look, and especially since this is going to be a cut up piece anyway, it's just, you know, speed it up, just slow it down, it doesn't matter. And it's, you know, I'm not the greatest quilter in the world. And there's a bump there, so I'm going to readjust here and smooth that out because this is the edge of the quilt. And you can even do the edge of the quilt here. I mean, I go a little slower so I can catch some things, but you know, it's just really easy. And I guess I should have told you that, you know what, you don't need the Supreme slider with the Octi Hoops. You just the Octi Hoop keeps it up off of the feed dogs anyway. But you know, not everybody likes the hoops, and I understand that. And then again, you know, it's making you readjust, put some more fabric in here, and readjust my little knobs to where I need them, and then smooth it out. Because whatever's in here, as long as it's smoothed out, it is not going to cause any bumps or tucks or anything like that. It's just, and like I said, it keeps, you know, you keep having to adjust. And that way, you know, your hands don't get so achy and tired. Just smooth it out. And I put, like I said, you know, some people use it to draw with, but, you know, my hands get tired of writing after a little while. I don't know about yours, but and then I just have to readjust again because it's gotten to the edge. And I know that's going to probably be annoying for a lot of people, but for me, this really, I mean, it is annoying, don't get me wrong, but it makes me stop. It makes me have to readjust. And that way, if I'm always readjusting, then I'm not really going to get too fatigued. Because you know what? I'll be able to read my body a little better and decide, you know what? You know, maybe now is a good time to take a break. My hands are hurting, my wrists are hurting, you know, maybe your neck is hurting. So, I'm not spending, you know, I'm going to go ahead and take a break and get off now, and I'm going to finish this up, and then I'm going to show you what I'm doing and how it looks when it's finished. Smooth it out. And then I'll just be back here in a little bit. Okay, we have the end of my project here, and the only thing that I've done is just quilted this together, and even I haven't buried my beginning threads, but it's just loop-de-loop and stars. It's not the best in the world, but it's going to be great for the little project I have scheduled, and I'll show you that next time. I didn't even quilt this whole time. I made sure I took plenty of breaks. I used my Octi Hoops, and they have these little holes in them that you can put the little pegs in and hold and move it around. You don't need the Supreme slider with the Octi Hoops. I just had it there just as a backup measure since I already had one. And I'm going to bury these threads and then get it ready to go for the next project. And again, I'll show you that another time. And I will get back to quilting, and I will see you tomorrow. Thanks for coming by.